Hi there. My name is Amy English. I'm a life coach and the creator of Fat to Fierce. Today, we are going to be talking about the hunger scale. And the hunger scale is a great tool to help you understand the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. And so really what this is it's the difference between going to get food because you had a bad day or you had a stressful day at work or you're feeling sad, mad, you name the emotion, and going to eat because you notice that your body is physically hungry, ready for food. Now, if you have a history of being an emotional eater, specifically a stress eater, then this distinction between emotional hunger and physical hunger is really, really important. And it's key to learning how to stop running to the pantry, right, when you're feeling stressed. So I wanted to just do a video to talk a little bit more about this tool because it seriously is a game changer. This, when I think back on my journey, because I ended, it was an over 30-year habit of emotional eating. I started emotional eating as a young kid, still in grammar school. And so I was able to stop emotional eating. And, through a variety of tools and steps and with life coaching. But when I think about my journey and ending this habit for myself, this 30-year-old habit, one of the tools that helped me the most, that was a total game changer for me, was learning the hunger scale. Not only learning the hunger scale, but using the hunger scale, applying it in my life every single day. That's how you're going to get the most out of this, really using it, making it part of your day. Because what that does is it helps you tune into your body and know if you're really hungry. And then you can start to question, if you find yourself in the kitchen and going to get something and you're checking in and you notice you're not really physically hungry, why are you there? Why do you want food in that moment? And it's asking those questions with curiosity, not judgment, right? Like, why are you here? Why are you eating again? What are you doing? It's more like, why are you here? Why do you want to look for food? You're not hungry. What's going on in this moment? You can start to get curious with yourself, and that can shed some light on lots of different information as to what's going on in that moment, what you're feeling, and what you really do need, because chances are, like, the food feels like it's going to help in that moment, but we all know it doesn't. And ultimately what can happen is you turn to food, you eat too much, then you feel bad, then you beat yourself up some more, then you feel worse, then you go back for more. I mean, it's like this never-ending cycle. And I know this so well, again, because this is what I did for a very long time. It was a habit with me forever. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to the hunger scale. So, they're included with this video is a worksheet. So I want you to print it, okay? Open it up, print it if you can, and have it handy throughout the day and moving forward. Because again, the idea is to use this every single day, to incorporate it as part of your day. And what you'll see in the worksheet is a scale, and I'm going to show it to you on the camera right here, okay? So this is the hunger scale. Hopefully you can see this. And you can see we start with, like, the 0 is in the middle here, okay? So 0 is neutral. So when you're neutral, that just means you're not hungry, you're not full, you're neither, right? It's not time to eat, you're not super stuffed, you're not even satisfied, you're just whatever, neutral. Okay, so when you're at that 0 mark, then what you can kind of understand is, like, when you're starting to get hungry. Now you want to get familiar with what hunger feels like in your body. And the worksheet has a space where you can describe your physical hunger, okay? In these little boxes up here where you can describe what it feels like when you are physically hungry. Because every person is different, right? For me, I notice it's kind of like an emptiness I start to feel. It's like the slightest whisper of, it might be time to eat soon, okay? And when I start to notice that in my body, that's when you get to the -1, okay, when you're looking at the scale. So again, 0 is neutral, and -1 is like the slight whisper of hunger. Like you can tell in your body that you probably haven't eaten for a couple of hours, and it might be time to refuel. That's the other thing. I like to think of this scale, the hunger scale, as like a gas gauge for my body, okay? So -1 is when you start to notice the tank is getting empty. It's going to be time to refuel soon. It's that slight whisper. -2 is when, your body might start to rumble, like your tummy might start to rumble a little bit. It might start to growl. It's like that slight growl. It's time to eat. This is when it's time to refuel. So you want to get familiar with what that feels like in your body when you know that it's time to put some food in the tank, okay? And that's when you get to like that -2 number on the scale. Now, if you kept going on the scale, because as you can see, it goes all the way, all the way to -10. So -10 is when you are starving. I used to do this way too often. It's like that point where you're like shaking, and at least this is how I was. Like I'd be shaking and I'd just get me food, anything, just put something, like I'm ready to eat my hand. Like that's gone too far in the scale. Because at that point, I know for me personally, it didn't matter what it was. And especially when I was that hungry, I wanted sugar. Like give me some candy. Like, give me something to satisfy this right now. I always think of that Snickers commercial, where they're like, give me a Snickers bar. That's -10. That's gone too far. You want to kind of keep it where you know that it's like it's time to fuel. You still feel good. You're not getting hangry. That's the time to eat. That's the time to go and make some food to fuel the tank. Now, on the flip side of that, when you're eating, this is really important. While you're eating, notice how your tank is starting to fill up, all right? So as you're eating, this is where you want to kind of slow down, right? Not eat too fast, and start to notice how your body is feeling as you're filling it up. And this is when you're on the positive side of the scale. So a +1 would be, it's starting to fill up. You've had a few bites. You can tell like, all right, I'm starting to get satisfied. +2 is that place of satisfaction where you feel good. You've had some food. You've had enough. It's a good place to stop. You're good. You could totally still go for a walk or for a bike ride or something. You have energy. You're not completely stuffed. And that on the scale would go to the +10, where I like to call that the Thanksgiving full, like where you're so full you need to unbutton your pants. And for me, and maybe for some of you too, when you get to that place, it's not helpful. Like I know if I eat too much and I'm that full, I'm exhausted, I'm sluggish, I just don't want to do anything else. It just doesn't feel good. And so we want to avoid getting to that +10, right? And the idea is to kind of stay at like that +2, maybe a +3, where you're satisfied, where you feel comfortable, where you've definitely filled your tank, and you're going to be good for a little while until it's the next time to eat. Okay, so the idea is to practice using this scale throughout the day and checking in with yourself to notice where you are. Step 1, describe the sensations of your physical hunger. Notice what it feels like when you start to get hungry. And then describe the emotional feelings that make you want to eat. Get familiar with them. So when you find yourself in the kitchen, standing at the pantry door, looking in the fridge or the freezer, looking for something to eat, you can check in and you can ask yourself, am I hungry right now? Where is my body on the scale? And then if you're at neutral or you're on the plus side, right? You're not hungry at all, you can start to ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I looking for food right now? What am I feeling? What's happening in this moment? Those are all really great questions to ask and answer for yourself. And this is where the notebook is really, really helpful. Or the worksheet, if you want to print this up so that you can kind of write down some notes and notice what's happening, because it's all just really great information. But just for today, follow the hunger scale. Describe the sensations of your physical hunger, get familiar with it, and use the scale throughout the day to check in with your body and notice how it feels. And just notice what's different when you use the scale. If you have any questions, let me know. Have fun with this. And remember, curiosity, compassion, and kindness. This isn't a time to beat yourself up. No judgment. No judgment here. All right, see you soon. Bye.